Welcome back, y'all, and happy Sunday. Today, we're going to be talking about Tennessee in the SEC tournament, in the NCAA tournament, and our path to a #1 seed. Is it something that's feasible, and also is it something that Tennessee wants? As always, y'all, please do us a very big favor. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. All right, we're going to start with the Ken Palm rankings, and y'all can see the Duke's #1, Auburn's #2, Houston's #3. I think that those teams are locked into 1 seeds. Now, at #4, we see Florida. 5 is Tennessee. 6 is Alabama, and I have that highlighted because those 3 teams are going to be fighting for that 4th #1 seed overall. So obviously it's big to get that 1 seed. I don't know necessarily if we absolutely have to have it, but looking at all these SEC teams is going to have a whole lot of implications, I believe, on the SEC tournament. And this is how the SEC tournament bracket looks. Round 1 is going to be played on March the 12th. Round 2 is March 13th. The quarterfinals are going to be March the 14th. The semis is March the 15th. And then the championship game is going to be on March the 16th, which is also Selection Sunday. I have this stuff color coordinated just to make the pass a little bit easier. All the teams in green are going to be playing at 1 o'clock, which is first every single day. The teams in blue will be 25 minutes after that. Yellow is going to be 25 minutes after that. And then red is 25 minutes after that. So y'all can see the Tennessee's inside of that blue path. I feel fine with us playing up against any of those teams. And if we do go on to the semifinals, which I think that this is going to be pretty much chalk, like I think that all the teams in the quarterfinals will advance on to the semifinals, except for if you come down to the red, Kentucky could definitely beat Alabama, and they could go on to play Florida. But taking it back to Tennessee, we're probably going to be playing Auburn unless they just pack it in, because they've already got their 1 seed. Maybe they say, hey, we just want to rest. We don't too much care about this SEC tournament. And then Tennessee's going to be playing somebody else. But either way, I think that Tennessee will advance on to the championship game just because I like our chances versus Auburn. I think that we match up well with them. Outside of Broome, he's a big guy that can stretch the floor. That's something that we've had some issues with, but we got to get that fixed before the NCAA tournament either way. But yeah, I feel like we will be able to advance on to that championship game if we need to. Now, there is a situation like what he's talked about. Florida and Alabama is who we're watching the closest for that 1 seed. There could possibly be a situation where Florida and Alabama lose before they see Tennessee, and we don't get to face either one of them. Now, I think that if we advance one more spot past them, then that should elevate us to a 1 seed. I don't know if that's accurate or not. Man, we got to see them head-to-head. If that's the case, then you would much rather, I think, see Florida head-to-head than Alabama. That's not to say that Florida's not the better team, because I think that Florida and Duke are probably the best 2 teams right now in the whole doggone tournament, like in the whole NCAA tournament. They're going to be tough. They're going to be really tough to beat, but I think that we can beat them. They killed us one time. We killed them one time. We're going to figure out who the actual better team is in this situation if we get to face them. But just kind of going back to that, right, if Florida and if Alabama loses, maybe Tennessee can just go to the semifinals and say, hey, we're not going to try to win this game. We're going to take that extra day worth of rest. I don't know. I don't think that they would try to do that by any means. Obviously, they're going to try to win every single game. I'm just kind of throwing something out there because I know some people feel like, hey, it's better to get that rest in. I feel like, look, these games are going to be played on consecutive days, back to back to back. Tennessee's going to get a good amount of time off anyway, so we've already rested up some. And once you start to play, I would maybe argue that, hey, you might as well, at this point where Tennessee's going to be at, maybe just go ahead and keep on winning so that you can stay hot. There's something to be said about that. But I don't know I don't know exactly what they're going to try to do. I would just say that either way, we need to make sure that we get further in the SEC tournament than Florida and then Alabama. And if that happens, then Tennessee should end up with that 1 seed. Now let's take a look at the updated bracketology from CBS Sports. And as we said, the 1 seeds are going to be pretty solid. Auburn, Duke, and Houston, I think that they're locked in with their 1 seeds. Florida is the one that they're going to have to fight for theirs. Hopefully we can take it from them. But the 2 seeds are also going to be pretty solid. We're seeing that in the South, Michigan State is the 2 seed. In the East, Alabama is that 2 seed. I've heard some people speculating on Tennessee probably getting that 2 seed on whatever side Duke's on. So maybe in the East, if things play out right, and a lot of people are saying that that's how things will end up playing out, we'll see. But if you look over at the West, where Florida's got their 1 seed, the 2 seed is Texas A&M. There's not a lot of teams over there. Like, let's just say if Tennessee does take that 1 seed and if everything, looks the exact same, which it won't. But if it looks like this, are you scared of anybody over there? I mean, personally, I'm not. We lost to Ole Miss. That's a team that we should have beat. But they did some things to expose some weaknesses in Tennessee's defense. So maybe you don't really want to see them necessarily. But really outside of that, I feel very confident with anybody, on that side. I think that Tennessee could beat all of those teams. But the issue with Tennessee is that we play down to our competition. So that's why I'm kind of like, I don't even know if I want that 1 seed because we could end up, getting knocked out by some scrub team because we don't come out focused. So it might be more beneficial for Tennessee to have to face up against a team with a little bit of a pulse in our first game. And you're not going to get that as a 1 seed, but you could maybe get somebody that's a little bit of a challenge with a 2 seed. And that might be good for Tennessee. I feel like if we get past that first round, then we're going to be in good shape because everybody else after that is going to be real competition. And Tennessee's going to step up to all those challenges. But right now, looking at the Midwest, Houston is the 1 seed. Tennessee is that 2 seed. And you see that there's some bigger names here. That's what Tennessee needs, man. Like, we need to at least see some bigger names, teams that are, more like blue bloods, just because I guess our players will come out to try to prove a point. There's a lot of guys that have a chip on their shoulder with this team, and maybe that's the reason for it. I have no idea, but either way, this is how the bracketology looks currently. There's really no teams over here that concern me. Just to let y'all know, the teams that maybe concern me the most. Actually, you know what? I would say that Kentucky is one for sure. Kentucky's a team that I personally don't want to see. So that would be one of my teams. Like we talked about Duke, that would be another one. And then Florida. Those are the 3 teams that I think are going to give Tennessee some problems, some like real problems in March Madness. I think, was that St. Francis that Brandon and I was watching yesterday? I think that St. Francis is really good. They looked pretty solid. I wouldn't say they've got a lot of athletes and they've got a lot of size, so they could also present some issues. You know what? I'm sorry. No, it wasn't St. Francis. It was St. Mary's. So sorry about that. Yeah, I think the St. Mary's is pretty solid too. But outside of that, I feel good with Tennessee's chances versus any of these teams. So we'll see how things end up playing out. Obviously, we all want to try to win an SEC tournament championship. I'm more about winning the national championship. I know a lot of folks might think that I'm being a homer or something whenever I say that Tennessee can win one, but this is a really good basketball team. If we play to our best, we can beat anybody because we've got a really good defense. We've got the scorers that can do different things. And, I think that we've got good enough athletes that we can match up well. We've got a lot more length than we had last season. This team is better than last season's team was. I'm just going to tell you that. We don't have DK, but from top to bottom, I think that this year's team would beat last season's team. So those are my thoughts on our path to a number 1 seed, on March Madness as a whole, on the bracketology, all that good stuff. I think that Tennessee is in a very good spot. The path to a 1 seed, it's definitely very doable. Is it something that we want to do? I would say yes. Like, we want to try to win as many games as possible. I think that we want to try to get on a nice little win streak. That would be great for this team, just heading into the actual NCAA tournament. But those are my thoughts. Please share yours with me down in the comments section. And as always, please do make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And we'll see y'all on the next one. Thanks. Peace.